So for more, we are now joined by Health Minister Dr Aaron Motsoaledi. Dr Motsoaledi, thank you so much for your time and for joining us this evening. So how does the registration of the Lenjab position South Africa as a leader in HIV prevention on the continent and globally?
Good evening, Katlego. Good evening to the listeners and viewers. Just repeat the question. You're asking about registration?
Yes, of the jab. How does it position us as a country in terms of being a leader in HIV prevention on the continent?
Oh, yes. On the continent, we are going to be the first country to use Lenacapavir because SAHPRA today has announced that they've registered it. Remember, for a drug to be used in every country, the Medicine Regulatory Authority must register it. Now, our Regulatory Authority, Medicine Regulatory Authority in South Africa is SAHPRA. And so it so happened that when the European Medical Authority were busy evaluating and reviewing Lenacapavir, SAHPRA was invited to join them. That's why it was so easy for them to register it so quickly. And we are very happy about that, because now they've opened the way for us to start using it.
So, Minister, maybe just talk to us with regards to how it works. I mean, just given the outcomes that you're going to be looking out for as a public health system, especially considering South Africa's HIV prevalence. Talk to us about how the Lenjab works.
Well, it is a pre-exposure prophylaxis, which means it's a prevention, it's a preventative injection for HIV, because trials have shown that when an adolescent young girl uses Lenacapavir, they are 100% protected from HIV and AIDS, from contracting HIV. And then men having sex with men is 96% effective. So this is by far the most effective prevention you can ever find. The prevention that we are using now is oral, where you have got to take a tablet every single day. And so for that reason, compliance is very low. This one is an injection, which you take every 6 months. So you don't have to go to a clinic many times. You just go twice a year and inject Lenacapavir. And that's why it is called a game changer. And indeed, we believe it is a game changer. And we are happy to be the first country on the African continent to be the people who are going to roll it out.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Minister, we are the first on the continent and the third in the world that would be rolling this out. Is this correct?
Lenacapavir is there in the US. It has been there for quite some time, but they are using it for treatment, and it's notoriously expensive. They are spending 28,000 American dollars just to treat one person. So we, in our case, we have been very lucky, because the Global Fund, which was established to fight HIV, AIDS, TB, and malaria, has negotiated with Gilead, the company that is producing it. We are going to get it at a very reasonable price, but Gilead has only allowed 2 million doses globally, which means all countries which want to use it is 2 million doses. Fortunately, because of our load of HIV and AIDS, we have been given 488,000 doses. That is what we are going to start using early next year to roll out. But after those 488,000 doses, where to? That's the main question. Fortunately, during the recent United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, in New York in September, the Clinton Health Access Initiative, an organization called Unitate, Vets RHI, and a pharmaceutical company called Dr. Reddy's launched a campaign whereby Dr. Reddy's is going to get a voluntary license from Gilead. In fact, Gilead has given 6 voluntary licenses. Maybe I need to explain that. Ordinarily, under the World Trade Organization rules, if you come up with a new drug, you have got the intellectual property of that drug for 20 years, meaning for 20 years, nobody else is allowed to manufacture that drug. Even if they can, It's yours because you hold the intellectual property. After 10, 20 years, they can manufacture generics that are very affordable. Now, in this case, I'm sure you'll agree, Katlego, the world doesn't have 20 years to wait. We don't have 20 years. So for that reason, negotiations were entered into with Gilead. They're giving voluntary license. In other words, they are giving a company a license voluntarily that you can start manufacturing. Now, one such company is Dr. Reddy's, but because they could not afford it, these funders like Clinton Health Access Initiative and Unitate, they are going to fund, and then it will be produced for $40 only. During the same meeting, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation did the same thing, which another company, one of the 6 that got voluntary license, is called Hetero. They are also going to manufacture it for $40. So after we finish the 488,000 stock given by Global Fund, we'll now be having a generic from 2027, which will be bought for only $40. So we believe it's a huge, huge game changer because that price will have decreased by 700 times.
And Minister, any plans with regards to then producing it locally in the long term?
Hey, you're asking a very touchy question, Katlego. The companies that have been given a voluntary license are 6. And here on the African continent, there's only one, but it's in Egypt. It's not here in South Africa. And our argument is that we are the biggest consumers. So we are negotiating very hard, very, very hard, I must say. The president even met Gilead when he was in the US. We are negotiating very hard that one of the South African pharmaceutical companies must be given a voluntary license because we are the biggest consumers and we are hoping we'll be successful.
Well, we certainly do hope, Minister. I mean, like you're saying, a very solid argument there that being the biggest consumer, it would only make sense for this to then be produced locally. So you speak of 488,000 doses that will be rolled out in 2026. How do you prioritize those in terms of children, in terms of, I mean, you mentioned the 96% rate amongst men that are having intercourse amongst themselves. Who do you then prioritize? I mean, in a country that really has so much prevalence of HIV and AIDS? Fortunately,
about 10 days ago, we held what we call a round table, where we brought all stakeholders under SANAC. You are aware that the stakeholders in SANAC is government, is business, is academics, is researchers, it's traditional healers, people living with HIV and AIDS, etc., etc. We had that round table, who were joined by international partners and international organizations like the World Health Organization, UNAIDS, UNICEF, all of them were there. We discussed this issue as to where are we going to start and for what reason. Now, firstly, I must emphasize, because we mentioned children, this is not for children, because when SAHPRA registered it, it's safer for people of a weight greater than 35 kilograms. So it's going to be teenagers and adults. So it's going to be young girls who are HIV negative, but we are also going to target key populations like men having sex with men, like sex workers, etc. But our biggest target in terms of numbers is going to be adolescent young girls, because they are the ones who are mostly vulnerable. As you know, from HIV/AIDS, they are the ones who get very easily infected. And any contraindications or side effects that came up during the study period that maybe you'd want to highlight for certain population groups, possibly not to be able to take the Lenjab? Not any significant side effects. Remember, HIV/AIDS drugs from the beginning had extremely serious side effects in the beginning. From 2012, when we introduced the single dose combination, where they were taking only one pill, the side effects dramatically reduced. For Lenacapavir, we haven't been told of any significant. Every drug in the world, even Panado, has got side effects, by the way, but there are no significant side effects. But remember, when we give medicines, we weigh the side effects versus the gains. That's what every doctor does. Can I give this person this drug? There are side effects, but what about the gains? And you weigh which one is bigger. But this one, no significant side effects have actually been reported. Not anything worth talking about.
Right. So, I mean, Minister, we're talking about this being a game changer. Talk to us about how these milestones align with your objectives with regards to eliminating HIV and AIDS on a broader scale. I mean, the 95, 95, 95 strategies. How does this fit into those?
Yes, remember 95, 95, 95 strategies is about treatment. It says 95% of the people who are HIV positive must have tested and know their status. Out of those who are positive, 95% must be put on treatment. And out of those who are on treatment, 95% must be virally suppressed. At the moment in South Africa, we are at 96, 79, 94. It means 96% of HIV positive people know their status, but it means 79% of them are on ARVs, and out of those who are on ARVs, 94% are virally suppressed. Now to reach our 95, 95, 95, we need 1.1 million people to be on ARVs. And we've launched this project on the 25th of February this year to look for that number of people. That's one side. Now, the other side is this Lenacapavir, which is now a prevention, meaning we're no longer looking for people who are positive to treat, but we are making sure that people don't become positive, because this injection is given to HIV negative people, not to HIV positive one, like it's happening in the US. It's a prevention. In other words, if you are on Lenacapavir, taking one injection 2 times a year, you are definitely guaranteed that you'll never catch HIV. So that's why we call it the game changer. It's going to accelerate the demise of HIV faster than 95, 95, 95.
So, Minister, are you still advocating for the existing HIV prevention framework, especially in saying that people still need to use condoms while on the Len jab?
We can't stop people from using condoms because of Lenacapavir. It will be very irresponsible. Condoms are not there to prevent HIV/AIDS only. It prevents other sexually transmitted diseases that are very serious, like syphilis, like gonorrhea, chlamydia. They are very serious diseases also. So condoms are there to protect those. It's also used for family planning. So if we say, because there's Lenacapavir, people must not use condoms, then we're opening a way for a whole lot of other diseases that are sexually, transmitted diseases. So we can't tell people not to stop using other methods of prevention. Secondly, it will be like a policeman who has put a bulletproof vest and who say, now I'm free to face any gunman with bullet. I can just go out carelessly and go for him because I know I'm protected with a bulletproof vest. I'm sure you are aware that will be grossly irresponsible.
Most certainly. Minister Motsoaledi, thank you so much for your time. It certainly is appreciated. That's the Minister of Health speaking to us there about the Lenacapavir, which has now been introduced and will start being rolled out in 2026 as an HIV prevention jab.